All right, some stories, they just feel a little too real, don't they? Today, we're diving into a first-hand account that just spirals into pure terror. The title itself is a warning, and, well, it's one that was ignored.
And boom, right there. That's the line that just grabs you. It sets this feeling of fate, of stumbling into a place you were never meant to be. It makes you ask, why? Why wasn't he supposed to find it? It's not just an accident, it's a transgression.
The scariest stories, they never start with a monster in your face. They start in the most mundane, totally normal way possible. We're in an old house, the kind that creaks and has a history baked into its very walls. And it all kicks off with something as simple as the power going out.
So let's break down how this all happened. It's deceptively simple. Our narrator has been living here for 3 whole years, totally clueless about what's lurking right under his feet. Then, a storm hits, just a random act of nature, and it forces him down into the basement for a totally routine task. It's that one little break from the everyday that changes everything.
And isn't that just wild? How easily something so huge can be hidden in plain sight. For 3 years, a simple wooden shelf was all that stood between him and this secret. It really plays on that fear we all have deep down, that our homes, our safe spaces, might not be what we think they are.
And this is that moment, The turning point. He could have just pushed the shelf back, pretended he never saw it. But curiosity, man, it's a powerful thing. This is when the story goes from a weird discovery to a conscious choice, a decision you just can't take back.
Okay, let's look at the details here because this is where it gets really unsettling. The size, only 4 feet tall. That's weirdly small, not for a person. Then there's no handle on his side of the door. That's a huge red flag, right? It's designed to keep something in. And then, of course, the scratches.
And that's the big question, isn't it? The one that just makes your stomach drop. Those scratches could mean 2 completely terrifying things. Was something desperate to get out of that room? Or was something in there clawing, trying to get into the rest of the house?
Oh, and this line, it's just pure, chilling foreshadowing. It's the voice of regret looking back at that exact moment he made the wrong call. This is where he seals his own fate. He knew he should have stopped, but he just couldn't.
So he does it. He opens the door. And what's waiting for him? Yeah, it's a whole lot worse than just darkness. The story is now officially descending from this creepy, psychological mystery into just raw, visceral horror.
Before he even sees a thing, it hits him. The smell. And smell is such a primal sense, right? It just bypasses all rational thought. This isn't the smell of an old, dusty basement. No, it's metallic, sharp, the smell of rust or blood. And what he sees inside is even worse. The scratch marks are everywhere now, on both sides of the walls, which just makes that whole in-or-out question even more terrifying. And then he sees it. A shoe. A single, small, dirty child's shoe. And suddenly, this is very, very human.
And just when he's trying to process all of this, he hears something. He's not alone in there. The sound is happening right now, further down the tunnel. And that word, deliberate, that's the key. This isn't just some animal. It sounds like it has a purpose.
This is so human, isn't it? Because it makes no sense. When you're faced with absolute terror, your brain just short-circuits. It's this bizarre, automatic response trying to apply a normal, polite custom to a situation that is absolutely anything but normal.
The scratching stops, and suddenly the silence is even louder, even more terrifying. He does the only sensible thing. He starts backing away. He's getting out, but it's already too late.
And there it is. The moment the threat goes from being something you hear or see to something you feel, it's made contact. The fear is no longer at a distance, it's right there.
Just 2 words, but man, they are effective. It's not a furry touch, not a raccoon or a rat. It's something else, something cold and damp, which just brings up all these horrible images of something unnatural. He drops the flashlight, and that's it. His one lifeline, his only source of light and control, gone. He is now completely trapped, completely blind, and he knows for a fact that he is not alone. And in that pitch-black silence, he hears breathing, and the way it's described, heavy,
labored and close, so close it's sharing his air, it's right there with him in the dark. So he gets out, he scrambles out of that tunnel. But the horror doesn't stay behind. Just because he left that terrifying little room doesn't mean whatever was inside stayed put. It followed him.
And what do you do when something like this happens? You try to explain it away, right? Your brain just goes into self-preservation mode. It's just stress. It was just a raccoon. You try to shrink the horror down into something you can manage. Anything but the truth.
But you can only lie to yourself for so long. And this specific time, it becomes a kind of appointment, a recurring meeting with the terror he let loose. The detail makes it feel ritualistic, which is so much creepier than just a random noise.
That sound, the same sound from the tunnel, it's back. But now it's in his house, right below the floorboards, a constant, nightly reminder that it's still there, and it still wants to get out. And then, one night, it changes. It's not just a sound anymore, it's a voice. Just a faint whisper, confirming his absolute worst fear. It's not an animal. It's something that can think, something that can talk, and it knows he's there.
So the story leaves us right there, with the scratching getting louder every night. And it leaves us with one last chilling question to think about. Now that there's a voice begging to be freed from that darkness, what would you do? Would you open that door again?